Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Good morning, Bells Falls, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty, and today we have John Marston with us. We're going to be talking about Leslie's in a little bit, but first, we have local events.
Just a reminder that this Saturday is the 5th annual Chowder and Chili Cook-Off happening in downtown Bells Falls. It's sponsored by both the Bells Falls Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Falls Chamber of Commerce, and the Bells Falls Downtown Association. It's $5 per person to go around and sample the chowder. They're going to be serving from 12 to 3, and they're going to be set up in all different businesses throughout the downtown. Then they judge from 3 to 4, and there's a couple of people that are defending their titles. Defending their titles. I know that Jamaican Jules will be there defending her title for the best chowder. And I believe Halliday's will be defending their title for the chili.
Oh, okay, that's great. And it looks like it's going to be a really nice day.
I think so, yeah.
Last
year it was like a nor'easter.
Yeah, last year was a nor'easter. The first year, though, I remember it was such a nice afternoon. It was a beautiful afternoon, and you could walk from store to store. And I think that's where we're going this year. And plus, there's also, if you tire of chili, or you don't get enough chili, I guess would be the other. If you're really craving your chili, then you can go to Sax's River, and they're having their chili cook-off on the same day.
There you go.
So if you're really jonesing for some chili this
What's
weekend.
your special at the restaurant? Does
chili.
it happen to be chili this weekend too, John?
Could be.
Could be. See, there you go. There you go.
We got every base covered.
What else is happening?
Just want to remind everybody that Secret Garden starts this week. So on October 25th, 26th, 31st, November 1st and 2nd, the shows are at 7:30. And there's matinees on October 26th and 27th and November 7th. So it's only running for 2 weekends. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, looks like only 7 shows. Get your tickets, mainstreetarts.org. I've sneak peeked the set design.
Yeah, it looks pretty
And then
amazing.
the costumes. Anyone that's walked past the costume shop in downtown BF will know the costumes are just amazing. And this is Mike's favorite event. I think he goes all the time. Wonder Groove Halloween party this Friday night, or is it Saturday night? Is it 26th?
That's
Is that
Saturday,
Saturday night?
26th, yep.
So Wonder Groove's having a Halloween party, so that's down at Wunderbar, 9:30 p.m. to whenever.
So
Costumes
after you go to the
encouraged.
Secret Garden,
After you go to Secret
you can
Garden,
go-
yes.
you can dress up and go
And
to
go to
Wonder
Wonder
Bar.
Groove. Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah,
Great.
great.
Lots of
So a
good
lot of
things.
stuff happening. We forgot our timer today,
Uh-oh.
so we're going to be
Which-
counting on
it would be
Alex
the collective, It'd be the collective, I forgot the timer, because I'm in
No.
charge of the
Oh,
timer
you're in
now.
charge of the timer now?
Well, I guess
You're
when
just
you gave
taking
it-
all sorts of
You gave it to
responsibility.
me. You bequeathed me the timer.
Well, I got a-
But we don't have-
I have a phone here. If you
No,
need.
no, we'll be
figure
all
it
right.
out.
But Alex will flash a light at us when we get ready.
You did low.
One of the things, I have retired, but one of the things I've been talking with Alex about is our stats on the feed. And he says if we if we can get people to stay over 3 minutes,
And watch
so
it
we
for
have to
over
kick
3
up our
minutes.
game like at 3 minutes because of some strange Facebook.
Algorithm?
Yes, exactly. It's like they time. I guess all the posts on Facebook are very short. So when you have something that's 25 minutes long, it really doesn't fit their.
Oh, there.
But they
Oh, is that-
measure up to how many people watch it for 3 minutes or more.
Right.
So we're going to start doing stuff right at the 3-minute mark.
So we'll begin our song and dance in a minute.
Yes,
We're gonna do a song
exactly.
and
But we
dance
don't have our
routine,
timer today, so,
so
we
we
can't
don't
do
know.
that. We want to welcome John.
Thank you.
It's not. It is always this way. You've been on before, so you know it's a little
Right.
bit of mayhem and
Sure.
randomness. So
That's what makes it interesting.
that's what makes it interesting. And we're right at the 3-minute mark, so we're going to have to
Right.
pick it up, put on costumes or something like that. So,
Amp it up.
but Leslie's.
Yeah.
You got all sorts of new stuff happening, right?
Well, 34 and a half years
Wow.
7 weeks.
How many days?
But who's
3 hours,
counting?
but who's counting? Who's counting?
So, over the summer, I have a little hip problem, so I'm not riding my bicycle
Uh-huh.
as much. So I was thinking of things to do, and
So you said, why not?
why not build a bar?
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
You know.
Now,
and-
which be more stressful though, building a bar or riding a bicycle?
Oh, building a bar is definitely, and we had such a marvelous fall.
Yeah, yeah.
And every day from early September up until just the last couple of days, I've been looking out the window and seeing all that beautiful blue sky and warm days, and I'm inside painting. And you know that winter is coming, and all those days that you wouldn't mind painting because it's 10 degrees out, right?
Yeah.
But this
can't.
fall, it's been 75, 80 degrees and beautiful, and almost beach weather.
Yes, it has been an amazing
yeah,
fall. It's been,
yeah.
I mean, elongated, nice weather fall. Yeah.
Well, after last fall,
yeah.
because
yeah.
last fall was, like you said, terrible.
Yeah, we did have a good fall this year. This fall's been gorgeous. Have you
Right.
had a lot of, have you seen an uptake in tourists?
No, every year is pretty
Pretty steady.
consistently steady. But I think that probably there were more day trippers
Mm-hmm.
that
Mhm.
could come up, from Massachusetts or wherever. So, yeah, that's good. But the bar was really one of those things that we've been thinking about for
Yeah,
a couple of
yeah,
years.
yeah.
We had a bar,
Yeah.
and we ripped it out about 8 years ago. And but what's happening? The restaurant business is always evolving and changing.
Before we get into that,
Okay,
though,
sure.
I want to go to the clip so people can see what we're talking about.
Right, okay.
And so, if Alex, if we did a little clip of Leslie's and the bar and the dining area, so that people can see just what John's been working on for the last several
On all
months.
these beautiful
yes,
days.
go ahead and roll it. What a beautiful spot. I mean,
Thanks.
really nice job.
I'm just curious where the horse was, John.
I have no idea.
That's a mic thing.
It's a
Just
mic
picture,
thing.
right?
It was a picture, and I thought, well, that's a nice picture, so I'll take a picture of the horse. And everybody that's watched the clip has said, where does John have a horse?
Yeah, out back. It's
it's,
a
it's a
secret.
well-kept secret.
part of the
When you stop,
time to cook.
yes, when you
Time to cook horse. So,
So
that's-
that was
right.
amazing. Really nice job. On
Well,
the, on the bar.
shout out to a guy, carpenter here, local guy, Dave Hearns. I don't know if you know him. Dave built that in 2 days.
Wow.
So, and he did a really special job, I thought.
Yeah,
And then he left me with the rest.
Because it's like a 24-foot bar, right? Something like
It's
that.
12 feet.
12 feet. Oh, okay. I've been telling people
12
24.
feet.
I was like,
And,
that's a long bar.
That's a long bar.
right. But he did a really outstanding job. So,
And the colors that you,
yeah.
where did those come from?
Well, Pinterest. My wife constantly going through Pinterest and looking at. You can look at pretty
You
much
can look at
anything.
anything, yes.
And she saw a bar with that color, so we
Yeah.
copied it.
Well, it pops. It really is a
Right,
nice.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
good
people
break.
mention that.
Yeah.
It
it's-
pops, but it fits with the whole.
Well, that's
whole
the other
theme.
thing.
Yeah, that's
thing
the
too.
important.
You know,
yeah.
it's because we wanted it to. In fact, people have said it looks like it's always been here, and so it kind of, you know, the building is 1795, so you can't put anything too modern in there,
Yeah.
and so we had to kind of keep it in that era, I guess, or looking colonial.
Yeah.
And but it was the impetus for the bar was, today fast or casual people really like to go to someplace that has a bar,
Right.
and they can get a burger or fries or burger and fries or chicken wings or something of that sort. And so we thought, we're missing out on that
Yeah.
part of that.
I think it's a huge market now.
It's a
More
huge
so than
market.
it used to be.
Right.
I think people go out to dinner more, but they go casual more. Like they still go out for the fine dining, like as much as they did, but I think people go out more for casual dining.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
That's what you were sort of saying before I interrupted you before, is that the dining industry is
It's changing.
changed.
Oh, yeah.
Changed a lot.
And people want to go out for, they want to try a couple of things. So kind of everybody uses the expression tapas.
Yeah.
Or
Pops.
small
Yeah.
plates.
Yeah.
And so, and we have a restaurant here in Bellows Falls that does do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they do very well with that. And so we weren't going to let them just take that whole market. So we said, we'll do it. And, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
It's going to take time for people to know that we do that.
Yes. Yes.
But I think it will be very popular.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And sort of one of the things that I've seen is, and I see that you're doing both, is the craft beers
Yeah.
are just bringing people
Right.
in that will just try craft beers.
Right.
And then the other thing is these cocktails that are
Craft cocktails.
that's a new
Right.
phenomenon that my
Right.
daughter is really like, oh, you have to have a cocktail, And
Right,
it's like,
right.
well, no, I hadn't thought about that.
Right. Plus, one place we go to up in York, Maine, they have a whole bar menu of craft cocktails. And they're all things that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And they all
need
have ingredients that I don't even know what they are.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
what
use these fancy bitters and all kinds of not appetizers, but
aperitifs.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're pretty darn good. you know?
Yeah, they have an amazing. Not that I've tried that many, but the ones I've tried, it's just like, well, this is a whole different food group. It's like
it is,
something.
yeah. It's a whole different market. It's not like just gin and tonics and,
Right.
it's like, I had a drink the other night called an almond butter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, again, I needed an interpreter to tell me what everything listed in there was.
Right.
But it did taste like, it had an almond buttery aftertaste in it.
Yeah.
The main ingredient
Was
was
it good?
amaretto. It was good.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, you can almost create either a dessert with your cocktail or just,
Right.
there's so many different,
That's funny.
yeah, which I would imagine, does that prove a bit of a challenge as far as what you have to stock?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Leslie does all kinds of martinis,
Mm-hmm.
and she does a chocolate martini. And it sounds disgusting to me, but it's
But
really
you can't say that.
it's really popular.
Uh-huh.
And but she's slowly working. We have a class in December, fancy cocktails.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
really?
It's a Saturday noontime class.
Are you providing transportation to and
Yes.
from?
We have an Uber driver.
Yeah,
Several
well,
of
you're
them.
right next to the bus, so maybe,
Right.
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
work out, they'll bus
You'd
people
be
home.
Designated driver, but it's you know it's a younger demographic that you know your millennials are the ones that are driving that, and it's interesting because we also go over to Kittery. And Kittery has a whole group, has a section, Kittery Foresight, a little plug there for them. But there are all kinds of very trendy restaurants that are very popular with, and if you go into them, like they have a Anju, which is a noodle bar.
Oh,
And
interesting.
And noodle bowls
Mm-hmm.
are
Another thing,
really
yeah,
popular.
yeah.
We get there at 5 o'clock, and by 5:30 it's full.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, noodle bowl is $15. It's relatively cheap, and it's very filling. But that is a very
Well, that's a whole
popular
new
thing.
thing. It's like
It
the,
is.
is it pho? Is that what it's called?
Well, that would be
PHO?
yeah,
Yeah,
pho.
yeah.
That would be one kind. There's, in fact, I'm doing a class on Asian cuisine in a couple weeks, early November, and we'll be doing a bunch of noodle bowls. I
Yeah.
say a bunch, 2 or 3.
Well, that's an interest with a good segue, because the other thing we want to talk a little bit about the bar, but we want to talk about the classes that you
Right.
do too, because that's a whole other experience. That
Yeah.
I don't know. I've done it, and I think
I've done
Marty's
it, yeah.
done it, and I have to say that they are an experience. I mean,
Right.
it's really it's beyond
Right.
either thinking about having dinner or thinking about having a class.
Right.
It's like it's a combination of the two that is really amazing.
It's a good, it's a fun night out.
Yeah.
I guess that's, you learn a little bit about cooking, you eat good food, you can get wine, so there's alcohol
Right.
involved, and it's a small group. I think what's the most you can have in there?
Well, when your sister and your niece come, then we can only accommodate 7.
Oh, okay, there we go. I know, they pretty much book all the time.
No, we do up to about 10.
That's what I
Or,
thought,
You
yeah, so
know,
it's not
unless it's outdoors, then we do, a big group.
So it's a pretty small group, and it's in the winter when there's not much else to do on a Monday night, so it's a good way to just put on your calendar, book it, and have something to look forward to as you
Right.
go through the
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah.
And he's
and
doing
then-
Saturdays now too.
Oh, you are? Nice.
It's
Yeah.
going to be Saturday at like in the early afternoon, which
Well,
is
it's 11:30 to 1, so by
Yeah.
1 o'clock, you're all done. So you can go do other things.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it's really kind of a luncheon class.
Yeah.
So, and it's some less money, it's $50, but it's about 4 courses. Or
Yeah.
maybe even, I haven't done one yet, but I think it's 4 or 5 courses. A little dessert, a little
Yeah,
soup
yeah.
salad.
Well, the one that I
Um,
was intrigued about is you're doing one in right after Thanksgiving. That's holiday appetizers.
Right.
Wow, I
Yeah.
can imagine. I mean, that's really timely, and then
Mhm.
it's like having been to the one. I can't remember we went to one that was about. It was about quick dinners, and
Okay.
it was just amazing the
Right,
stuff,
right.
the things that you put together, it's the holiday appetizer thing sounds great to
And
me.
you always come out, you always give a recipe, recipe booklet.
Right.
So you always come out with, and I think usually there's more recipes in the booklet than you sometimes have time to get to.
Right.
So you always have a lot of ideas coming out, things that you can do, and you've seen some techniques, and you can stop and answer questions, which is nice. It's not so formal that you can't, get off topic a little bit if someone has a question about a certain,
Yeah, I think I do a little information overload sometimes.
Well, sometimes,
I
but I
thought
mean,
so. Not overload, but there was definitely a lot of information
Right.
that if you were going in thinking, well, I'm just going to learn how to boil water, it's not
Right,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
really,
right.
you pretty much learn where water come from.
Right, yeah. So this year, we have 15 of those Saturday classes.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes all the way through March. And then we have, I think, we have 34 total, so 15
Big,
minus
you
34.
really, like how many did you do last year?
And about 25.
Yeah, so you've increased about a third then.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all, in September when I do decide to do them, I'm always a lot more ambitious about it than.
And you are in March when you're
Right.
doing the last class. Huh? It has to be
but-
like teachers, I guess. you
But
know?
what we're now getting is private classes,
Oh, really?
private groups. So we have one next week with the dentist office in Walpole. They're doing a team building class.
What a great idea.
Right, on their, they're not open on Friday, so they're
Uh-huh.
gonna do that on a Friday. And then we have a family reunion class that they've done now, this is like third or fourth year.
Really?
And that's
Oh.
right just before Thanksgiving. They all come home for Thanksgiving and
Mhm.
they
And then they come in and,
right,
yeah,
and
that's
they're
a great idea.
group. So, if you want to do a team building thing or a retirement or family reunion
Yeah.
or something like that.
What is the menu for team building? I'm just curious.
Well, it can be whatever you want
Oh,
it to
whatever,
be.
okay.
We can design it specific to whatever you're interested in.
Yeah, because this, I have the list and the number, the breadth of
Right.
these classes is amazing.
Right.
And it sort of, I guess, speaks again to what you were talking about, that I think millennials and the younger generation also like to have that special in-depth experience where they might learn something and then take it out and share it with their friends
Sure,
later.
sure,
And,
yeah.
And I'm wondering do you see that or?
Oh, yeah, it's always very rewarding when people come back for a class and say, I did such and such and such and such,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I do it all the time.
Mhm.
That's great.
Mhm.
But ultimately, the idea is that you're going to do these things and do them as part of your regular
Right, you're
repertoire
gonna
of things,
create-
and it's not so hard to do that you wouldn't do it fairly often.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, for example, I was thinking about this. We have this Asian class. We're going to do a noodle bowl, and part of a noodle bowl is you have to have a really flavorful broth.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have chicken broth, and you can't buy the chicken broth. I mean, you can, but so you just take a whole chicken and put it in a pot of water with some aromatics, some onion, carrots, celery, and bring it to a boil and then simmer it for a couple hours. Take the chicken out, let it cool down, pull the chicken off the bones, and you got chicken broth.
Mm-hmm.
But to make it for a noodle bowl, you have to add dashi, which you can get online,
And
and it
that's
comes in a little container,
Uh-huh.
and it's seaweed, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's powdered seaweed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing it justice, and a little soy and a little sake, and that takes what would you'd think of as, say, chicken soup,
Yeah.
and you're amping it up to a new level, and it's a noodle bowl,
Mhm.
and you can buy.
Then you add the other ingredients. like the
Right, you
noodles
can
and
add
then-
whatever, you can
Yeah.
add that chicken or a pork, and some noodles, and you get a noodle bowl. And I had a group of friends over the other night, and I made them noodle bowl, and they thought it was delicious.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually, I wish I could sell it, but it's a little new yet.
Yeah, but I think it's, like you said, I think it's catching on. It's one of those
Right.
one of those up and coming things
Yes,
that's,
yeah.
I think, is on the horizon.
Yep.
And people have heard of, and like
Right.
you said, when they try it, it's really good.
Yep.
But if you were to see it on the menu, you might say,
Yeah.
what is that?
Well,
Yeah.
the other part of a noodle bowl is you can either use chopsticks or a fork, obviously, but it's slurp,
Yeah.
and it really
Makes
you know
people
you
jump
go
the
to
It's
a-
true. If you go into a nice restaurant, you're all dressed up, you don't be like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's not real genteel.
no, that's true.
If everybody is slurping,
Yeah, then it's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're the only person who orders
Yeah,
noodle bowl, then
right,
it's
right.
not.
Everybody's looking at you, and there you are, slurping away. But some of the new classes we're going to do this year are making some fresh pasta.
Oh, wow. Actually
Oh,
which
making
is
the
neat.
pasta
fun
nice.
to do.
Yeah.
It's and I told you about the fancy cocktails. We're also doing a class on all kinds of burgers, not just hamburger, salmon burger, lamb burger, turkey burger, and different toppings for those. So you get a little different kind of a burger.
I think that's another thing that's exploded too.
Oh,
Is
big time.
burger is not for lack of a better term, but almost like a craft burger.
Right.
Is all these different burger variations.
Right. Yeah.
And what I like about when you do go to one of John's classes is you pick up these little techniques that, because you're in the business and you have been doing it for years, just these little things that you would never think of.
Right.
That give you that. So if you're creating it at home, it gives you that restaurant feel. That
Right.
just you've upped your game a little bit.
Sure.
And that's one of the things. And they're not difficult techniques. Nothing that
Right.
you ever show is ever difficult. It's like, oh, that makes it so much easier.
Right.
So you pick up a lot.
So now the newest burger I hear about is the smash burger.
Oh, isn't that that's the kind of a takeoff on an old, like a greasy
Exactly.
diner burger, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Smash burger is where you get a skillet, cast iron skillet,
Uh-huh.
and you basically do everything we're told not to do with a burger. Namely,
Really?
get it really hot and then throw it in there and using a spatula push down
Just push.
Yeah.
Oh.
and then you know, for a really fancy smash burger, you'd have some onions, and so when you smash it down, you're caramelizing those onions
Yeah, yeah.
underneath. Maybe put a tomato on it, and it's
And that's
really
all
quick.
in the pan?
Right,
Wow.
it's all in the pan, and maybe put it on a English muffin or. But it seems to be the big deal now is smash burgers, and honestly, I'm not overly impressed. But
Because it's what's old is new again. It's
Right.
that
Yeah.
whole,
Right.
It's
you
the-
can
like
see
the
the
old
guy
flat
with the
top.
cigarette and the big
Yeah.
old hat, and he's
Right.
on the grill, and he's,
yeah, I've seen it on Netflix on Chef Talk,
oh, really?
and
Yeah.
they they do those smash burgers in, I don't know, 2 minutes,
Really?
2-3
Yeah,
minutes.
just,
But they're using 75-25
so it's a really high,
fat
Yeah,
ratio. So
yeah.
when they smash it,
it's
there's
like,
all that fat.
yeah, all that
Yeah.
fat.
But fat is flavor, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they say now.
But then we're going to do a class on tacos, enchiladas, and
Uh-huh.
nachos,
Oh.
because tacos are great, and enchiladas. And then we're also doing one. Well, I said Asian cuisine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
going to be a combination of Japanese, Korean, and so we're going to be working with gochujang.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what
That's a Korean chili paste,
Oh.
and I just
is it
wanted
really
to
hot?
say that
It's just fun to say.
gochujang.
You just like the
Right.
words. It doesn't matter, but we're going to use that word.
But excuse me.
So if people want to, I know that a lot of your classes fill up. So if
Yeah.
people want to sign up, they need to call as soon as possible, right?
Right,
'Cause
or
it's-
text now.
Or text, okay.
Yeah, call or text Leslie. You can go online and
And you can get a,
right, and you could.
Get it.
We have those too
Yeah.
all over the place. But yeah, they the classes in January, February, March all fill up. Last year we were doing them Monday and Tuesday.
Right,
I'm not
right.
doing that anymore.
Yeah, too
that's
much.
oh,
Subway,
okay,
you work
yeah,
7 days a week.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, we're getting the
Yeah,
high
we're
sign.
getting,
Okay.
we're getting the hook that we need to.
All
So
right.
John, I want to thank you again
Well,
for
thank
coming
you.
in.
I appreciate
Check
it.
out Leslie's, check out the new bar menu, and all the classes.
Sign up for a cooking class. Really, folks, try it. It's fun. It's a great girls' night out. It's a great date night. There's a lot
Yeah.
of people that come,
Right,
date night type
right.
thing. You get to eat the food. You really don't have to do much. You really get to sit
Yeah,
and
it's
eat.
a lot of
John
fun.
shows you techniques, and it's really, really worth it.
And if you don't want to talk, John will talk for you.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
That was the feed, and we'll see you next week. All right.
That's it, folks, for the feed. Be sure to catch us every Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. Also, find us on Facebook at Fact TV, or tell us what you think. thefeed8@gmail.com. And don't forget to watch the feed online at www.fact8.com.